So hey guys, today we're back with another video and I have a special guest. Hey y'all! This is my sister Ariel. If you haven't already, please go subscribe to her channel. I will leave the link in the description box below. There's gonna be a lot more adventures going on between the two of our channels. So if you like us together, make sure you're following both of us so you can get the updates and see what we're up to. Today we're gonna come to y'all with a video about toxicity, and we're gonna bless y'all with some gems. We're gonna drop a couple gems for y'all and, you know, really get the conversation going. Yeah, because you know, toxic is a word that's used in our generation, or like it's been like a lot of people have the opinion that it's been overused, or that people just use it a lot more freely than when things are actually toxic. So we wanted to kind of like dive more into that whole conversation and share the things. So Ariel put polls on her Instagram story, like, yeah, just for people to answer yes or no, and we'll go over those questions. It's about like 7 questions, I think. Yeah, it's around there. It's like 7 questions, and then we're gonna go over those each individually and also give our own opinions. So without further ado, let's get right into the video.
Go down, baby. The loving ain't going nowhere.
Alright, so the first question that we're gonna get into: do you think of yourself as toxic? And do you think of yourself as toxic, Brie? I actually I answered these, but I don't remember my answers, if I'm being honest. You don't remember if you put yes or no if you're toxic? No, because it's undecided. I don't know if I'm toxic or not. So I put the questions on my Instagram, and when I was thinking of like what questions I would want to like ask or like be asked of, I was like, this is definitely #1 question, because you can't start a topic of talking about the general topic of toxicity without asking yourself, are you toxic? Right. And then it really, you have to literally break it down, because I mean, we'll get into that later, but like a lot of people, 79% said no, they don't think of themselves as toxic, and then the 21% of people that said yes, those are the people who are very self-aware. That's all I'm gonna say. True. Very. Here's the thing, I don't think I'm not toxic. I just don't know my level of toxic. I think I have toxic traits that I'm working on, but do I think of myself as toxic? No, I think of myself as a vibe, as an experience. Period. If you're lucky enough to be around it. Period. I can bless your life if you want. Exactly. I can be a blessing. I don't want to say I can be a curse. I mean, I can be a curse depending on what you're looking at. Yeah. It depends. So yeah, that's what I feel like. But I agree with you that the 21% that said yes are very self-aware. But yeah, so I guess now that you have those answers, we'll move right into the next question, which is, okay, this is ridiculous, but have you ever hooked up with your friend's ex? So let me just put the background behind why I asked this question. The reason why I opened up with, are you toxic? I wanted to hit it with one thing that I truly felt was like, if you do this, like, you're automatically toxic. Like, if you could get yourself over that hump of thinking, yeah, well, my friend used to mess with her, so let me do it too, or him, whatever, like, interchangeable. Yeah. So I was like, I'm just gonna throw out an example, because if you said no, but then you said no to being toxic, but then you turn around and say yes to hooking up with your best friend's ex. Yeah, you need to go back and have self-awareness. Exactly, right? You need to go back and change your answer, because they don't add up. Yeah. That's like a lot of people, they think they're not toxic, but their actions are toxic. Yeah. So it's like, you really need to watch your actions, because you can say one thing, but your actions show who you are and what you truly are about. Right. I think your level of toxic also depends on your intentions, because sometimes like, you don't mean to be toxic, but just happens. I think that goes back to the whole thing with like, we'll get into the whole relationship part, but I feel like everybody knows. I feel like everybody does have like a general gist of whether they're toxic or not. Yeah.
I think people just try to downplay it, and it's also romanticized now.
Oh yeah.
So it's like,
yeah,
some people like to put out like, oh yeah, I'm the good toxic. What is good toxic?
Yeah.
Please define that. If you guys know what good toxic is, please comment below, educate us. Because I want to know.
We need to know,
right?
like,
I need to know what that means. What does it mean to be the good type of toxic? Because people hit me in my DMs like that said yes, and were like, but I'm the good toxic. Like, I'm the toxic you want.
What?
Why would I?
What does that even mean? I want to be pure. I want to be full of pure light and love. Like,
please comment below what that means. I would love to know.
And if you feel like you're the good toxic, then please explain, because
hit her DMs, not mine.
so for the percentage of who said yes and no, 15% said yes, 85% said no, they have not hooked up with their friend's ex. Which is good, but still makes me like, that 15%, I was looking at questioning like, but you know, I feel like that also comes back to levels, because like when the guys were in my DMs trying to like explain themselves, they were like, but if it was just a girl that like my boy wasn't serious about, then it's kind of like they passed her around type thing. Oh, that goes right into that guy I showed you yesterday.
Yeah.
So basically, there was a guy who was talking spicy in my DMs, and he answered my DMs, and I just like kind of reciprocated it, but we don't know each other, we never met each other, we don't have each other's phone number, it's not constant, but still it's like enough to where I know that, oh, he feels a certain type of way about me. And then I posted a picture of my friend, and like a group picture of my friend. He's like, oh, who's that, put me on. And I'm thinking like, why would I put you on when you were just in my DMs talking spicy like over a span of time? Like, that sounds crazy that you think that I would even like set my girl up like that. It doesn't even matter. And he had the argument of like, it's not like we ever did anything, or it's not like we ever like talk, but like, what? That is just so crazy.
But then if that's a whole other topic the world's not ready for. I was about to say, oh, but if it was a girl that hit a guy that she was worrying with her DMs about, oh, let me talk to your boy or whatever, it'd be a whole nother word coming out.
Yes, exactly. And we all know what that H word means, what it is.
Hope. That's what that means. That word. That's exactly what it means. Next question.
So the next question is talking and dating the same thing? Wait, should we give like, let's say the percentages first, and then we'll give our opinion, because that is a deep topic.
Yeah.
So 80% said no, it is not the same thing, and 20% said yes. And to that 20%, I just want to, you're gonna get hurt. I just
talking about that though, when I actually looked at the breakdown of who said yes, like the gender, and it's crazy because majority of the people who said no were mostly male, but the majority of people who said yes was females, which shows the disconnect.
Yes. And
why there's so many relationships that aren't relationships, and why so many, I don't want to say females, but so many females get hurt, because we kind of intertwine the two and think that talking and dating is the same, but I guess it's not. I mean, in my head, I'm still trying to battle it myself. But dating, in my opinion, is actually going out on dates and talking to just one person. Well, not dating just one person, like only solely about one person. That's my opinion. Yes. And then talking is, I might be texting a few people, I might be on the phone with a few people, but it's nothing serious. Like, what I'm like, it's just different levels. That's at least my opinion. Of course, you know,
I agree, and I think that I wasn't always like that. I think I was kind of very naive, and once I realized that there was a separation between two, that's when I started getting hurt less, and also less annoyed too, because I stopped expecting certain things from people, that it was like kind of premature. Like, I was expecting such and such from someone that I was like interested in, but like I was also talking to other people too, so what was like why would I make them live at a certain standard when I'm not even like on that level with them either? So I think for me, I agree. Talking is okay. And dating is like, you get that one person, you know that y'all good, like y'all know that you're exclusive, but not necessarily boyfriend or girlfriend. So it's like, okay, I narrowed down to like, I just like you, I'm gonna spend my time dating you, and we're gonna go on outings and dinners and whatever. Stuff like that, yeah. And that's like the step before becoming official. Yes. And back to the self-realization, like the 80% who said no kind of get it, and the 20% who said yes, it's the same. You're delusional. Yeah. Pretty much. Like, to keep it in a simple, you're delusional. Yeah, you're delusional. But I don't want to sit there and, you know, everybody has their own opinion, and do feel free to definitely answer on this question. Comment below. Yes. If you feel like it's the same. If you do, tell us why. If you don't, tell us why. But to all the people that commented, 80% said no. And I'm in that 80%. Me too. That 20%, I feel like you're setting yourself up for heartbreak. Yeah. And you're like, I feel like your mindset is outdated. This is not the 50s no more, where you meet someone who's kind of okay and then you're like, wow, let's just settle down and get married. I want to be like that. You have options out here, sis. You got options. You got multiple guys you could talk to. I know, but still, you know, like, I just want to be married. Let me stop. You can have a dinner paid for you every day of the week. From a different guy. Two different mindsets. I don't condone that. Like, but I understand. So when outside opens back up. When outside opens back up, we about to get mixy. We about to build a oh, let's not even use that word, because there's a question about a roster. So let's get on to the question. If you are talking to the same person for a few months, and only that person, are you single? So the results was 64% said yes, 36% said no. Let's talk about this. If you were talking to one person and just that person for multiple months, are you just using them as a placeholder till you find someone better? Then, is that the case? Because if you say you're single, then why is that, like, why are you talking to that one person for so long? Help me understand. This one blew mine. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, this one blew mine. Because me, I was in that, no, you're not single, but. Honestly, I'm single until someone asks, can you be my girlfriend? I'm not doing that. We're just gonna slide into a relationship thing. That's not what I'm doing. Me being exclusive to someone, okay, if you're talking to someone a few months, like, of course you're gonna be talking to somebody for a few months before you actually get into an official relationship, which is that dating stage we were just like talking about. I feel like I'm doing you a service and you're doing me a service. I don't owe you anything until I say, yes, I will be your girlfriend, and you don't owe me anything until you say, yes, I will be your boyfriend. The service part sounds a little. The what? The service part. You're doing me a service, I'm doing you a service. I'm doing you a favor. Okay. I'm doing you a favor because I don't owe you anything in reality. But the thing is that like a lot of times when it's genuine and you know that y'all both mess with each other, sorry, I want to say that first, but when y'all really mess with each other and like each other, y'all aren't gonna be interested in other people. I'm just not with the premature stuff, because I don't want to let anybody let me slide into a relationship with them until you say, can you be my girlfriend? Can you be my wife? I'm single. That doesn't mean I'll be moving single though. Okay, yeah, I'll say that's the key right there. Like, am I moving single? My mentality might be that I'm single, but then doesn't that mean the same thing? What? Thinking that you're single and then moving like you're single. Because if you say you're single, how are you not moving like you're single? Because you're not out there talking to other people? Yeah. But you're single. I mean, so if you're not talking to other people, it's because you're not single, because you're in a relationship. You get what I'm saying? Okay, then put it into perspective. If you're talking to somebody for 3 months, were you his girlfriend? Just now, were you his girlfriend? Let me know. I mean, obviously not. Exactly. I mean, but was I just talking to him? That's two different things. Exclusive. When I'm exclusive with somebody, I'm doing them a favor and they're doing me a favor. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, we were talking for
for 3 months, but I was still single and I was still moving like I was single. That was the only person I was with, but I still was talking to other people and still going out and seeing that. Like, damn, I'm about to expose myself. I'm like, wait, you know what? Never mind, we're not talking about me no more. Gotta expose my whole shit.
Let us know in the comments below what you think. Until you got that ring, until you got that question, pop question of can you be my girlfriend, baby boy?
Do you like me? Yes or no? Send that note.
Yes, send a note.
Check it.
Yes or no?
Let me just check it. No, get up, move. Like, girlfriend, boyfriend,
the
that
G
B
word.
That B word. Woo, baby.
Yo,
sounds like a headache.
period.
Okay, so the next question is, are you single right now? So this was kind of just for us to get like a background on the people, on like the demographic of who was answering the questions. So like a lot of people, majority of people said yes. So I mean, yeah, it kind of helped with the questions. For those people who said no, it kind of made sense. Well, actually no, because some of the people that said no, they also said no, that talking and dating aren't the same thing, but a lot of them did also say yes. And for that one was kind of interesting because there were some people that I know on there that are in relationships that were like, I lost my train of thought.
Some people were on there that have relationships, but they were saying that they're single.
Yes, that's what had me laughing. Like, it was like, are you single? No.
That shit's crazy.
I lost my train of thought there. Please edit that part out.
Well, I mean, for us to both answer the question, and this is just to give y'all kind of a perspective of where we're coming from. We're also both single, so
100%.
Yeah, we can't really get into a relationship right now.
Yeah.
Anyways.
there's certain things that are happening soon that like
it would be kind of just treacherous.
And I know I can't do long distance, so
yeah. So
yeah. With that being said,
new announcement coming soon. Okay.
Yes, I love this question. Do you believe in a roster?
Yes. Do you believe in a roster?
This was pretty split though. I was actually surprised about that.
I think this is the closest to 50-50 that we got. But 54% said yes and 46% said no. And for the people who said no, I just have a question. Like, what do? You
just be talking to one person the whole time.
And what happens?
What happens if you invest all that time in somebody you actually like, y'all meeting, y'all build vibe? Having a roster can be work.
Yes.
So I personally, I don't want to say have a roster, but because like, who knows? But
I'm not answering that question.
You just did by saying that. Because if you didn't, you would just like, nah, I don't have a roster. But talk, like, that's why I say talking, for at least in my opinion, talking is exhausting. Having a roster is exhausting. Keeping up with people is exhausting. That's why I'm hyped. Yes. I'm kind of ready for a relationship. Kind of not. I'm ready for that aspect of just talking to solely one person, but haven't found one person. So that's why I keep as long as my roster. Check, yeah. You're gone.
Yeah.
Not right.
The roster is ever evolving if you do have a roster. That's one thing I can say. It's always.
When you start talking to somebody, I automatically think in the back of my head, they are already talking to somebody.
Yeah.
So it's more or less like where I'm gonna come into your life and where you're gonna come into my life. Like, 9 out of 10, I'm probably already have somebody else that's on my line. If you coming into my life new, it depends on our vibe. If I vibe with you better than I vibe with the person I used to talk to, that person just got demoted. Yeah. You got promoted. So it's like,
yeah. Oh, this is the last one.
Perfect way to end it.
Yes. So last question.
What did you say? I don't know. I thought you were gonna answer. I was like, all right. But okay. So would you say you've engaged in toxic behavior before? Now the results. Think back to our first question. The results now are 86% said yes, they have engaged in toxic behavior. While that 14%, I think y'all liars.
I think you lied too.
Said no. Now, if you think back to the first question was, do you consider yourself toxic? A lot of those people that said no actually said yes to engaging in toxic behavior.
Yep. And if you said no, I'm sorry, have you ever been in a relationship? Have you ever talked to someone? Have you ever dated ever in your life?
Do you know what toxic is? Do you know what toxic traits are?
Right.
Because everybody has some type of toxic trait. There's not one person that does not have a toxic trait. Unless you got, but that's another story. Like, but I feel like we all had to grow in some way. Because you don't get to where you are by staying stagnant.
Right.
So it's like, you had to go through some, whether the person that you were with were toxic or you were exuding that toxicness. That word is just so hard to say.
It is.
But yeah, like I know for me personally, I used to, in my like past relationship, not gonna say which one, I used to try and get that other person, like if he wasn't giving me enough attention, I know this might sound childish, but I was an adolescent, kinda. And like I would try, like if he wasn't giving me attention, I would try to like make him jealous or make him mad, like do something on purpose. Now I know that that was totally toxic, that was totally not appropriate behavior, very childish. But back then, that was something that I did. So if I was answering that question, I would have said, yeah, I know I have toxic traits. I know I have a lot of toxic moments. It's also a part of me growing. I'm on a journey now. Right. I'm becoming spiritually inclined, mentally, physically, like soul and all. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to expose myself. But I think, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, my toxic traits have definitely changed depending on my age or according to my age. And so I feel like you have less and less toxic traits when you get older. I feel like that's typically how that's supposed to go.
What you might think is a toxic trait, somebody else might not. Perfect example, somebody who can detach themselves so quickly from somebody. There's like deeper rooted issues, and some people might not see that. Some people might be like, that's just how I am, that's just how I was raised. I can detach from anybody, and people are proud of that. Me, I feel like, again, I get too attached to people sometimes. That's something that I'm also working on. I feel like that's also very toxic, to be very attached so quick, and then people who are very easily to detach. I think there's a level, there has to be some balance.
Like one thing that I know that I definitely have done in the past, and more so probably recent too, but yeah, like just expecting that they, like, I don't know, like it kind of goes back, like anytime that someone's loyal to me, it's kind of like they're doing me a favor, because in reality no one really owes you anything. Like someone could literally F you over in a matter of seconds, minutes, hours, days.
But for the question of are you toxic or do you consider yourself toxic, I feel like people took it in terms of, do they feel like they're toxic to other people? Because you can very much so be toxic to yourself. Self-sabotaging. It's like, dude, that's me. Zoom in right there, that moment. Like, you can be toxic to your own self. Again, that goes back to me saying like, oh, how I tend to have the, what was I saying? Tend to attach to people. Become attached to people too quickly, like prematurely. Like for me, that's toxic for me, because that takes me through the ringers when my emotions get all up in it. Like I'm a very passionate person. I love heart. So that's something that I had to learn, like to get through. So that's something that I had to realize was a toxic trait, not for other people, but for myself. Everybody comment below on each one of these questions. We really want to see what everybody else's opinions are. This is such a topic that, you know, through the decades has changed. I feel like when we were younger, we never really thought about, you know, toxicness or like what our level was toxic with. But I definitely feel like toxicity and self-awareness goes hand in hand. And I feel like if you're aware of where you feel like you could be toxic, again, not to other people but to yourself, it can definitely make life a lot easier for yourself and also bring up your self-awareness. So that's all I have to say.
Lastly, I guess to wrap it up, this is something that we want to do moving forward, and like we said in the beginning, make sure that you're following both of us, because these are things that we really want to talk about. We have a lot of exciting things planned for the future. Like we're asking these questions because we've been through the ringer, guys.
We'll do a story time eventually when we get to that point where we're ready to share some of those in-depth experiences. Definitely. But
definitely. And I feel like I mean, if you follow my channel, you already know this about my videos as well, but I mean, definitely being raw and being open, like that helps so many people, because so many people are quiet about this. And the more we normalize conversations about this and self-awareness in general, whatever it comes to, like I feel like it can help people out. So definitely make sure you are subscribed to both of our channels.
Subscribe, hit that subscribe, turn your alerts on, like this video, comment below.
Down below.
Tell us what other topics you would like us to discuss, because we're here to talk. We can talk all day.
Period.
And that's on what? That's on
That's on period. That's not an exclamation mark. So we will see you guys in the next video.
Bye bye. Until then, see you later.